Well, good afternoon. It's 5 minutes to 3 on a Saturday. Worked a couple hours this morning, me and Trey, and then went to the flea market and I picked up two bars. They're 1,000 grain bars, and I got them because they were cheap, but I also got them because they were in these very interesting, uh, very interesting holders. Now these are sterling. Okay, 1,000 grains sterling, of course, Franklin Mint. A couple of Christmas scenes. I think they're Christmas scenes. Yeah, Christmas 72 and Christmas 71. But they're absolutely beautiful. They would be 69s or 70s if they rated them like that. And I'm always mixing up grams and grains, and so I had to look it up and see that for every gram, we're always talking about in grams, and 31.1 grams makes a troy ounce, and yada yada yada. But in every gram, there's 15.42 grains, and this I found very interesting. Grain, a grain got its weight significance by being the equivalent of one grain. So whether it's a grain of wheat or a grain of barley, that's was considered the equivalent of a grain. So a grain gets its name from grain, which I found fascinating. And it takes 7,000 grains to make a pound. So if you wanted a pound of rice or a pound of wheat or a pound of barley, there should be in roughly 7,000 grains, individual heads of little pieces, little individual cleaned up grains of wheat or barley or whatever you're working with. So I found that interesting. Never too old to learn something. But anyway, let me show them to you. They're just a couple. I've had some of these before, and I've had lots of them before. There were grams. There were one troy ounce, yeah, so forth. But let me show you. They have printed right on them that they're 1,000 grains, and they, as I said, they are just perfect. Now it's going to be the typical clitter clatter, as you've all come to expect. Christmas 1972. I think they're very well done. And Christmas 1971. Now we'll flip them over, and you can see they're 1,000 grains, solid sterling silver, Franklin Center, PA, Franklin Mint. Same thing. So I imagine they put one of these out every year. But as I said before, the thing that I found fascinating was I've never seen a holder just like these before. And what these are is they're clear plastic screws, and they screw in four of them, and there's the bottoms of them, and hold this, and they were made just specifically for this size bar. So there you go, everybody. Now, if anybody's wondering why they haven't seen me on the chats, it's because on a chat, if one person on the chat blocks you, you cannot enter that chat. Now, I don't know, that's a pretty crazy rule, because anybody 10 out of 10 people on the chat, if somebody doesn't like you, they can keep you from coming on. Now, I can think of a number of people that might be doing it, but I still think it's kind of crazy, because we add nothing but some life to the chats as a rule, the ones that I end up on. So if anybody can figure out who's blocking me, and when they're not on the chat, by all means send me an invite to the chat, and I'll be happy to show up. Okay, that's Tom said there wasn't going to be anything tomorrow, anything new, and he has a 1 kilo of the reverse proof Year of the Horse, but he wanted way too much for it. He wanted $4 over spot, and I wasn't about to pay $700 for a kilo for a lunar year when it would be really the only lunar year I have. So anyway, so if I show up with that tomorrow, you'll know Tom came down in price. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching, and leave a note.